anniversary, and I'd like to take a moment to tell you she will be presenting project number 2. It requires organizing your speech, and the objective is to organize the speech, creating a strong opening, closing, and smooth transitions. And this evening, Grace will be sharing with us about the impact her mother had in her life and the healing process. And her speech is titled, "To Kill a Mother, Rebirthing Myself." Let us welcome Grace.
Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. I didn't have a bad childhood, really. When my parents got divorced, I was 6. My mother became the new teacher in a village of 250 inhabitants. And except for the mayor's daughter, all children were children of farmers. And I was a city girl. And my mother had an important role, so I felt special. After a year of exercising his rights, my father stopped visiting. So we became the abandoned children. But however, my father was not the problem, my mother was. We didn't have the right to talk back, but from that stand, we never had the right to express our feelings or opinions. Without me realizing, she was emotionally abusive. First, she told me I was an accident. Then she said that she regretted she didn't put us in an orphanage. She would also say, of the three of you, your sister is the most intelligent. Then your brother, and then she wouldn't finish the sentence. So I suppose you know how I felt. But the worst of all is one day she told me she went to a psychic, and she told the psychic how bastards we were because we didn't put up with her behavior, so she called us bastards. And she was thrilled at the idea when the psychic said to her, "Oh, don't worry, you'll bury them all." Years ago, I had a hard time keeping my brother from holding a pillow on her face. I myself didn't talk to her for 3 years, and then the second time I didn't talk to her for 10 years. When we made up, I told her that, resuming my life, I told her that I had a car accident when I was 5 months pregnant, and I was 2 days in a coma, and she said she didn't care. When I visited her in France 3 years ago, my brother said that my mother, we went to run an errand for my mother, and my brother told me my mother told him that a gypsy had cursed him when he was an infant. And according to his messed up life, it was quite believable. In the middle of the night, I found her in the kitchen drinking tea, but then she wouldn't come back to bed. So I spied on her. I saw her sitting in her living room, and I stood there for 20 minutes just spying on her and making sure she was not putting a spell on my son, who was sleeping in the living room. And I'm telling you, I begged the Lord. I said, please, please, if there is a spell, please put the spell on me, but please, please protect my son. I was a mad woman. I was out of my mind. And the day after I left and I swore to my brother, my mother would never see me again. Not only is she controlling, bitter, paranoid, and hypochondriac, it's the scare of her that made me wish her to die many times. I really wanted her dead. Because I thought that when she would be dead, I believe that spirits, when they go beyond, spirits, you know, the only thing they know about is love. And then when she would die, she would love me. Lately, I only wanted her to die for her own sake. Because of that, you know, she would only know about love, and she would be better instead of being miserable the way she is. My recovery was not easy. The landmark education program I attended was fabulous. It walked me through the process of starting a new life, and I thought I was complete with my mother. Then the Millionaire Mind seminar proved me wrong. There was a sentence in a song that they asked us to sing, which I didn't sing, but I heard people, you know, stating that you have to get complete with people before they die. And that triggered a crisis in me. For 20 minutes or so, I cried my eyes out. I coughed my lungs out, and I was throwing up for 15-20 minutes. I was sick like a dog, cursing her, eyes bloodshot and all. It did look like rage, but it was not. It was just the fear. It just looked like an exorcism. I wanted her out of my system. When I woke up the morning after, I rolled up in my covers, and I heard myself out loud say, "Kill her." I didn't know who I was talking to, but then I figured I was talking to the child, like me as a child. Few days later, when watching Legends of the Fall, I relived the exact same crisis, meaning crying, coughing, throwing up. Then I read the book, The Magic of Forgiveness. I had forgiven my mother, but I had never grieved my loss. And that was the missing link. The two episodes of crying and throwing up was the grieving process. But the final healing came from the book Conversations with God, where it is mentioned that your parents give you birth. They don't owe you anything than keeping you safe and keeping you from dying. And you don't owe them anything either. At first, you know, it's hard to accept, but you know what? That will do it. This is my life. And I'm loved by many people. I am now healed, or so I suppose. It doesn't look like it. But I don't want her to die anymore. But I don't want her love either, because I wouldn't even know what to do about it, with it. So still we have now harmless conversations. It doesn't mean that the black box is not full. I still have to deal with the I'm not loved, I'm not good enough, and the anger I feel when people don't let me talk. In 2009, I focused on the healing process. In 2010, in order to ameliorate my life, I will concentrate on rebirthing myself. I already feel like a new person. I hope this has inspired you. We all have a black box, and don't worry, love yourself as you are. You are perfect, just as I am. Happy New Year to everybody.
Thank you, Grace. Let's take a moment to fill in our comments for Grace, and then we'll move on.